I'm gonna give you one more chance. We're live.
Okay. Welcome to. Oh, never mind.
Welcome to New York. This is different with the headphones on. I can't hear myself as well. I can't hear myself. You know what I mean?
Oh, you gotta do something with your interface. Because I can hear myself.
Oh, right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interface.
Yeah.
Well, you're a genius.
Yeah. Well.
That's why they call you Jac Thompson. I'll just keep one headphone off. What's up? Drinking some
Nothing
booch?
much. I am drinking some Gingerade, which actually I tried to find the blueberry ginger kind, and then I was really disappointed because I had to get Gingerade, but it's really hitting the spot. I like
Blueberry.
it. No. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely get blueberry all day, but Gingerade?
These are over. I'm going back.
Oh, okay. Go back to the old phones.
Gingerade's my favorite. You know, when I worked at Trader Joe's, I would
Grab one off the shelf.
grab one off the shelf, and I'll pay for it. Actually, wait, I can't switch headphones. Jac Thompson in the house, Nordista Freeze in the house, episode 4 of Fun Zone. We're here. You're
Hello.
at home. Yeah?
Me? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Your room looks great.
Thank you. I got a map behind me. For all those.
That's right. It's the map.
It's the map. It's the tour map.
So that's everywhere you've played? I can't really see it.
No, you want me to bring it to you?
Could you?
I mean, yes.
That'd be awesome.
Only if the host allows.
Yeah, bring it.
Well, basically, oh no, it's honestly so hard to get back up. Are you laughing at me?
Yes.
I gotta put my headphones back on so I can hear you. Ha ha! This is the United States of America.
That's sick.
Sorry, I got
to the Republic. That's everywhere you've played.
Well, yeah, and there's the dots, like the different. I don't even know if you can see it. The different pins in it. That changes based on how many times I play in the city.
Ooh, so red means it's hot.
Red's hot. And then I've done a lot of this up the United States, basically like southern and then to the northeast, but not too far.
You're a low key road dog.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? Like you're always like sneakily playing a lot of shows.
Honestly, it means more to me that you would say that to me than anyone else. Because everyone knows that you're the ultimate Jack Kerouac road dog.
I do love Jack Kerouac. Probably my second favorite Jack.
That's too much.
It is too much. I saw Memphis was red. I think Houston.
Oh yeah, Memphis is red. I feel like Oklahoma City might be red.
I'm surprised all of Texas isn't red.
Yeah, I mean I think that I've played Houston much more because my folks are from there, but I do love a Dallas show.
Ooh, really?
Show. I haven't been able to go there as much, but the people. I don't know. They just have, to me, like a different vibe. I think they're kind of excitable.
That's cool. I've never played Dallas. I've played Fort Worth. I've played Weatherford, and I've played Denton a bunch of times.
Okay, Denton is cool.
Denton is sick.
College town, artists. There's a lot of bands outside. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, and wait, what's the university that's right there?
UNT.
UNT, University. Oh, which is kind of a music school.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure people there have always told me that's why the scene's so good. All the bands I play with know their music theory, so they must.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it's classical, the school.
Yeah, I don't know. You know your music theory. Jac Thompson's in the house, who I met at music school.
Oh, does anyone have a?
Can we call it music school if you
platonic third they'd like to play me? What?
Did you say platonic third?
I did.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Jack and I met 5 years ago.
That's right. It's been 5 years. Do you know how long it takes for a relationship to be lifelong?
They say Nashville's a 10-year town, right? So we're halfway there.
No, what was that? That was an assignment. A 10-year town. I wasn't there for that, but I heard about that assignment. The songwriting assignment.
Oh, really?
No?
I didn't do songwriting. I did production, remember? I
I
should
thought
have
that
done songwriting. Then I
I
could
thought
have
that
hung
that
out
was
with
a
you
Ron
more.
Fair thing. Like Ron Fair asked everyone to write a song about it being a 10-year town. Ron Fair's a producer and he was a professor at Lipscomb.
Our professor lives in Fairview. Took us out there and we all had like a really good time one time playing songs. That was cool. I played Fight Song. That was awesome.
I wasn't there for that.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I actually never really got to know him. I just know him by reputation.
He was like everything. He's a really awesome dude.
Yeah, he's
He
a legend.
he's a legend. He believes in a lot of things that I am not good at.
Yeah, like Christina Aguilera's music. I've heard you cover it. You're terrible.
Exactly. That's where I'm going. And like being on time. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
Tickler.
He's like, every professional musician's on time. And I'm like, well, I know a lot of musicians that seem pretty professional.
Yeah.
I know
mean,
what he means. He means like Taylor Swift's backing band or whatever.
right.
But he did, like, I talked to all those guys and they were all like, you got to start being on time. That's how you make it. And I was like, should I find a new industry?
Maybe. But also, I feel like those guys probably have pretty different goals than you do.
They do.
I don't know. But also, does that mean that, I don't know. I feel like backing band is like, that's a whole new level of like structure.
Yeah, right.
That I don't think artists are familiar with, or I don't know. Maybe
Us artists, we don't have to
Swift.
adapt to that, right? We just show up whenever we want.
No, I have a schedule. I don't know.
Yeah, you're one of the most like
more.
you are so professional. You get things done.
Dude.
That is something that is very true about you. You just finished your Kickstarter.
That's right.
Maybe
It's over.
last. I think when did it end? Like a month ago, maybe. It's like July 18th, maybe.
Yeah, I don't. I think it was July. You're right. It was somewhere in there. It's all a blur.
I'm on your website now. It says it was last updated then, but I don't know what that means.
Oh.
You had 405 people back your Kickstarter. You raised $28,937. Dude, that is insane.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's weird. I don't think that it really hit me that we had raised that much. And maybe it still hasn't. I'm really grateful for the individual pledges. And I've been, looked at all those 405 people. And some of them it says like guests. But I still like have been through all of them. And I'm so grateful. But I don't think the total, like the cumulative total of money has hit me. And I don't know if I'm like, I think for lack of a better word, grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
That like that the record is funded. I think I'm just like,
Right.
oh, so-and-so, like, oh, that's,
Totally. And it is like, it's like a completely different mindset than it is when you're just like working a job. Like doing a Kickstarter is like you receive a lump sum of money to do a big project. Like there's a lot of weight being thrown around. And I know that you know that because you have spent, our whole friendship, the whole time I've known you, you have been slowly working towards this. It's not like when I first met you, you were like, I'm going to launch a Kickstarter. But just like the debut album, like especially over the last year or two, it's become more and more pressure where you've been touring a lot and there's been people who are just like, we want music. We want recorded music.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. I've been talking about it since probably 2009. I was like, I'm gonna make it, make my first album. And right. I remember someone I care about asking, like, I guess this was like 6 or 7 years ago, but they're like, are you serious? And I was like, I thought it was pretty clear that I was serious since 2009 about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the pace that I was at, it was hard to notice, especially at first that I was trying to get where I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you. It does feel like I maybe like had a big payday after a lot of years of effort, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Before the record.
Totally. I mean, I totally relate to the. I think 2009. Like, I think actually might be the same year for me. It's probably like 6th or 7th grade when I started making music and being like, "Yep, I'm gonna do this forever." And,
Yeah.
you know, it takes a long time for people to really believe in that. I mean, I'm sure there are people I could talk to now who still think I'm from like my childhood who still don't think that I'm like
Totally
doing it or going to do it, you know, and that I'm
yes.
still just young. I don't know.
There's still people that I'm like friends with on Facebook that I don't know well at all, but I'm just hoping that I'm like, someday when I release my first single, you're going to love it. And then
Yeah.
I will feel validated. Because yeah, but I mean, maybe it is time for me to release some of those yeah. I think everybody might be that way. Everybody wants their hometown to love them, or
Yeah, right. And you're gonna return home to your high
you want to be a
school
hero.
what is it called, reunion?
Alma mater,
You're gonna go to the reunion, the 5-year, the 10-year reunion, and show up and just be a total beast.
yeah.
And they'll be like, "Wow, you really did it."
They're like, she turned her life around. And then you're the kid, you walk up and you're like, yes, I won like least likely to get married by the age of 55. But here I am. I'm beautiful.
Still
You know?
not married, but my career.
Yeah, exactly.
But I kickstarted a bunch of money.
Yeah.
No label was interested, but I did it on my own. And they're like, "What is a Kickstarter?" You're like, "Well."
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that you. I believe you've already succeeded. I cannot wait for the album. What is the timeline?
Oh, that's one of the
timeline?
scariest questions.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna receive the albums in the mail before August of 2021.
Whoa.
That is what I have, which, you know, that's a year from now. So we've got a couple days.
Yeah.
But I mean, right now we're in pre-production and we're looking at budgets and we're looking at how we're going to record the album and whether that's going to be live tracked or hybrid. One of the things that we're trying to protect, and I like the word protect, and my producer that I'm working with, Quinn Redmond, he's used that a lot, but sort of the raw performances of these live video one takes that I've done, because that's kind of the only way I've shown people my music, is that I had to do these fairly low pressure live take recordings so I could put them up on YouTube. So I would just even show up on Google.
Right. Yeah.
But
you'd have something so that people could know who they're going to see live, because you've been.
Oh yeah, like I can't imagine not having those and be working with Quinn. Because right. I mean, if he hadn't been to if he wasn't at a show, then, and he wasn't.
Right.
And what would he have to look at? So I'm really grateful for a lot of videographers. Our friend Clay Mortensen.
Yeah.
And Ines Lopez, like I don't know. I feel like they put me on the map, and
Ines.
Oh.
Yeah. Some amazing people. Clay is helping out with this very production.
I saw that on Instagram. He's working. Did he do some sort of edits around the faces of your guests?
Yeah. So he changed the thumbnail to make it look more legit, which is awesome. And he also taught me some of the deep YouTube stuff I didn't really know. Whoa. Like when people watch this very video, they're gonna see like a thing up top that's like, click on this, or at the end being like, here's another video.
Yeah.
Just that stuff. I mean.
Oh, are you gonna premiere it?
I've not done the premiere thing. It does seem kind of cool,
especially with long form.
Yeah.
Because it's tough. You're like, I have 3 minutes to tell everybody to be here.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That would be cool. But yeah, Clay's awesome. Clay, his video you did with Clay is awesome. Inez, and also Quinn, who we were talking about. Quinn, who's helping
Yeah.
production?
He's amazing. Yes, he and I are
Yeah.
co-producing the record.
Cool. Is he engineering it too?
From what I understand, he will be mostly engineering. We may go to a studio and he may have an assistant engineer. I kind of like that idea of him being able to step away from hitting record, and focusing on preamps and whatnot, because I liked him to just be himself.
Yeah, totally.
But also, that's like kind of a budget thing. It helps tremendously. That was one of the choices that you have whenever you're choosing a producer. You're like, well, I'd love to find a guy who really knows how to work Pro Tools.
Yeah, for sure.
And can engineer. And he can. He's a whiz.
Yeah, he is a whiz. He's also great with live sound. I've been to a couple shows that he's done sound for.
I've been to a couple shows, and you like show up at the back and you're like, oh, Quinn's here. Huh.
Yeah. Quinn is awesome. Yep. Such a likable person too. Quinn is just like I consider Quinn a good friend, and also I've been a fan of Quinn's since high school. When he worked on an album by a band called Punchinello, which was like my favorite local band in high school.
You told me about that. A band that I hadn't heard of, but when was that?
I mean, that album must have come out in 2013 or.
Are they still a group?
No, they're not. They all started doing different stuff, but they had endless potential. And my band that I did with Sam and Grant and Gentry mimicked their band, because it was like me standing up doing percussion and then having like a guitar player. They had like a guitar player and a mandolin player and a standing percussion player, and that's what we had too. So
that's
yeah. So anyway, Quinn was a big figure to me, and it's been cool to get to like slowly interact with him more and like consider him a friend now. Is like kind of crazy, you know what I mean? Those are it's the things like that when you feel like you've made it, or that you feel like, I mean, you're always still making it, but there are things that you can celebrate and you should celebrate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Even I'm still shocked that we're working together, because I'm such a fan of his work with Flyco, which the real guys. I love that world is sort of connected to this new world of the record.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And then of course Stephen Day, his album is incredible.
Oh, did he work with Stephen Day?
Yeah, he made that whole record that Stephen Day actually.
Cool.
I'm scared. I don't want anyone to quote me on this. I won't say it, but I think he might have produced Stephen's first record too.
Are you serious?
I think so.
We can try to look it up. Dude, I've never met Stephen Day. He seems like a really cool dude, and all roads are always leading towards me meeting him. I just met I've just recently become a little bit better friends with Jordy Cersei.
Oh yeah.
Another
amazing artist. Song credits. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's not on. I see. That's why I don't know.
Some of these songs say written by Stephen Day and Quinn Redmond, produced by Quinn Redmond.
Well, the Black and White album, the one Underground Romance and the Moses and Me, the one that I know that Quinn produces. Guess I'm Grown Now.
Cool. That's awesome. That you got to work on that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What an awesome opportunity. And now Jac Thompson, that's an awesome opportunity too. I can tell you're taking this all as seriously as I would expect. One thing I've always admired about you is your ability to just really work hard on things, and you're very precise, and you like the fact that you have a year till it's coming out. That's like such a nice form of self-respect where you're actually going to get to like really make this good. I would probably have like given myself 6 months and then like stressed everybody out.
Dude, no, but that's thank you. But I think it's two roads to get to the same place, and
maybe I don't know.
I think that I think that's what's best for you. I don't know. I like the way that you make records. I do.
Well, I do appreciate that.
When is you've been releasing singles? 3, 4 now? 3.
Let's see. Wisteria, First Time, Dolphin, 4. The Christmas song, if you count it. Hey Gigi, and now Fight Song. So
5.
5 or 6, yeah.
Wait, so the Christmas song's gonna be on your new project?
No, I think that the Christmas song, and I might re-record the Christmas song, but I think I'm just slowly making a Christmas album, like throughout my life, chipping away.
So
It's like a song a
yeah,
year, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I love
totally.
Christmas music, but I don't want to like write a Christmas album.
Yeah.
But I do, but I don't want to like.
You're like, I don't want to
I don't want to do
spend
that right now. I don't want to spend the next 2
6
months
months in
making
October.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 2 months, 6 months.
Okay, this is gonna be
Yeah.
really weird, but I'm gonna mute my mic really quick and blow my nose. You okay with
Oh,
that?
yeah, I'm okay with that. That was smooth.
Thank you. I'm having trouble with my nose running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. I've actually had a lot of friends who are getting like allergies right now, and everybody's trying to figure out if they have COVID or not. You know, they're like, I haven't been around anyone that has it, and I don't have any of the symptoms, but I have allergies. But then like allergies are like low
scratchy
key,
throat.
halfway symptoms.
Oh yeah.
And
then
freaky.
if you don't feel well, you're like, it's probably a cold, but no, I mean, I got COVID tested today just because that was. I told Freeze we weren't gonna talk about that, but I did. You knew. You're like, if I give her the opportunity.
if I mention COVID and I just get quiet and make her need to say the next thing.
That's why I'm drinking ginger too. I'm really trying to.
Cool.
No, yeah, it is weird. It's like, I think it's good to just get tested every once in a while. I hope that it's not I think I really should have, but I hope it's not a waste of resources. I think that it's probably being safe. So.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm always afraid of saying the wrong thing, but I think that there's enough tests to go around these days. I think that they're encouraging it. So, well, that's cool. I'm glad you did that. Are you So you are living here full time. You've lived here. When did you officially move into this place you're in right now and just decide to not even going back for the holidays like you are a Nashville resident?
2017.
Wow.
Oh, I got my Tennessee driver's license.
Whoa.
There she is.
Wow, you look good.
Thank you. It was a good day.
You look casual. Like, it's a cool pic. None of people look kind of freaked out.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to try my best to make this a good photo. And I knew that it was going to get sabotaged, but it didn't. Because they're always like, can you open your eyes more? And you're like.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just look terrible. They told me not to smile so much. I was like cheesing, I was like, and they were like, this isn't a joke. I'm sorry. I just had the cop would be like, hey, can you smile like in your ID? Then I would smile at the cop too.
I know. Yeah. They're like, sir. Yeah.
Granted, all these teeth are all different now than when I got that picture. So good thing I didn't. So you are from Cypress.
Yes.
Cypress, Texas.
Yeah.
Which is a suburb of Houston, or no, it's not. It's its own city.
No, it's its own city. That was rude. No,
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
I
know all of your hometown is listening to this. They're all gonna send me nasty emails.
Cypress is its own. Yeah. No. It is. It is. Everything. Houston kind of eats all the towns.
Mm-hmm. It's a massive city. Houston is insane. Every time I play there, which I started doing because of you, I'm like, just like when I go from your house, when I'd stay with your family into the city to play in Houston, it never felt like we were like leaving one town, entering the other. It's just a sprawling insanity, just buildings forever.
Yeah. I think that there are really, really great parts of Houston that I don't know. I feel like I just haven't seen a lot of them. I've like, to me, Houston was very much like highways and like car lots and strip malls.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to speak ill of any city because I know that there's a fantastic art scene, but it's, downtown and
right.
I much prefer just access like Nashville's so small. Kansas City, Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite places. It's the same way. It's tight knit.
What? I didn't
Oh
know that.
yeah, yeah. I probably touring there. I thought Roanoke was so beautiful, but Kansas City was exciting.
Roanoke, what state?
Virginia.
Roanoke, Virginia. I've never been to
Yeah.
Roanoke or to. I've never played in Kansas City. What are these gigs?
Dude, maybe
Jack, what's going on?
we we had one conversation about touring together, and it was a long time ago.
That would be sick. We would have fun together.
Mm-hmm.
We could do house shows. I would
Do a
love it.
little whiplash with our sets.
Yeah, right. I would love to try to bring it down, but I think you might also
I might have
would
to
dig
bring
the
it
full
up.
band. So yeah,
Yeah.
you with the full band is sick. Your full band shows that I've seen are awesome.
Dude,
Getting S. Grant Parker in the band. Who else? Z Swan sometimes.
Z Swan,
Ethan Sullivan.
Ethan Sullivan sometimes, Cheyenne Metters.
Shannon Metters on bass.
Oh yeah, Jasmine Bridgeforth on bass too.
Oh yeah, Jasmine.
Not at the same time. Oh yeah, I
What about
always
Trevor?
have to bring in. Oh yeah, Trevor. Trevor's great.
Love Trevor.
So many great players. Blake Talent.
I
Yeah.
don't know Blake.
He's got 2 L's in his name.
What?
Lake. No, I'm just kidding. He's amazing. He's like texture guy on guitar. Like anytime you're like, I want the guitar to kind of like scream here or to
Yeah.
make a soft purring noise. He'll just be like, oh, this.
Wait, didn't Rod Taylor play in your band once?
You know what? Yes.
Because y'all played Little Floater.
Yeah. Oh, and that was
by NRBQ.
Bo Tackett was there too. Bo
That's
Tackett, the guitar player for Blake Shelton.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mean to
No,
drop it. But
no, dude, it's sick.
No.
It's so sick, and he's great.
Honestly, I'm a much bigger Bo Tackett fan than I am Blake Shelton fan. I think that's okay to say. I don't think
Oh yeah, for sure.
Blake will ever see this. But I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy.
Blake Shelton, he's the one who's like on American Idol and all that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's got like a bar downtown, I think.
Oh, yeah, they all do.
I gotta respect the this entrepreneurial mindset of these people.
Yeah.
Like, who are like, yeah, I'll just become a household name by being on American Idol. That's pretty sick.
It's called like Red Dog or something.
Red Dog.
Red Dog.
I thought it was Big Red, but that's a bubble.
You're right, Big Red.
But yeah, no, it is. Wow,
it's
sweet.
named after a dog, I think. It's about a dog. I think it's about a song. All the guys, they have, like Florida Georgia Line Spar will be named after a song.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I think they're just called FGL House. They're just swagging out.
Yeah, they're like, we don't need.
Those guys are just swagging out.
Yeah, they're crazy, man.
That'd be cool. Do you ever want to have a bar one day with your name on it?
Oh, I would want. Okay, you're gonna go next.
Okay.
I would want, I think, more of like a retreat center where like people can come songwrite, and it wouldn't be called FGL House. It would be called like a name of a song, or maybe it would be named after Pemberley in Pride and Prejudice, or
that would be so cool.
Yeah. Isengard could be after Lord of the Rings. But yeah, it's basically like a songwriter's retreat, and also, just bunk beds for days.
I love that.
I'd make cinnamon rolls, and there'd be a studio. The place where the National, they have an album out. The dark one. The one where it's a dark cover. It's a black cover of a house.
Yes.
That's a studio that I assume he recorded the record there. And then the Lone Bellow just recorded their most recent record there. But that's like a studio in the middle of nowhere, top notch. It's just really a lone house. I love that idea.
Yeah, right. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
That would be sick. And then people could go there and write and just be inspired.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, let's just wander over to the studio. That would be incredible. I think that's the dream. My sister's an accountant. So I just like always imagine us sort of sailing into the
together.
West. Yeah, I think so. I think I would like to run a business with her
That would be
someday, and she's
cool.
cool. Yeah. What about you? Where's your Broadway bar?
I think that I would have a some sort of like adventure science center, or like that one in St. Louis, whatever it's called,
Oh, I've never been, but I've
the
heard
park
all
where
about it.
where like you can just go, and it's like a
It's for
playground for
adults, but
kids and
it's
adults. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, Places like that, I would create some sort of just crazy place that got you inspired.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. It would also
That's
be fun to
awesome.
have like a place that has live music. But that would also seems really difficult. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would want it to be a place that stays fresh, not a place that I don't know what I mean by that. I just wouldn't
Stays
want it.
fresh.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want it to be like a dingy bar that like has bad vibes. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you could,
I
you
don't want it to be
know,
positive. That's all. That's all I mean.
if you were more of a venue than a bar, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you could really curate it.
Yeah, it'd be fun to have a place that's really curated. Um,
Yeah.
I would love to like work on building sets, and then people, you know what I mean?
Ooh. And then there'd be like a band would be there for like 2 weeks or something.
Hmm.
Oh, the basement did that with Delta Ray. They
That's
had like a
right.
set. Were you there?
Yeah, I saw when Dave's Highway opened up for them.
Okay, you remember the guy? Do you remember the guy who had the preacher's outfit? Like a
Yeah,
classic sort of British. That's what I imagine. I see it in BBC movies all the time. I was terrified because he
that
kept
was
shouting
scary.
at us that yeah, that the Lord is coming
Yeah, there was some sort of
before this.
weird spiritual, like, but like faux spiritual, like
Oh yeah,
dark
totally.
stuff going on.
Which yeah, and oh my gosh, Zach and I were just talking about this. Is like taking like spiritual things and sort of like tucking them into secular music and stuff that people are familiar with can be really cool.
Mhm.
Like I'm writing a song right now, and nobody steal this, but I'm writing a song where the bridge is just I feel a presence in this place tonight. I feel like everything's gonna be just fine, and I
Wow.
like that. That's sort of like worship, hands in the air, sort of
Hmm.
thing. But you're singing just
Yeah,
about like a crowd of people in one of those venues that you curated.
yeah, right. And
Yeah,
it can be openly interpreted, I guess, either way too.
yeah.
However they hear it. That's cool. Are you well, am I gonna know a lot of the songs on the album?
I think so. But I also kind of part of me is part of me is thinking maybe no.
So you don't even know what song's gonna be on it. You're still
That's right.
deciding. You have just a
That's right.
surplus.
I have like three that are absolutely going on the record.
Really?
Yeah, and then there's of course there's more to choose from. And I'm not looking at songs like they're backup plans necessarily, but I am like I'm gonna write to try to beat those.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I think it's possible. I think I still got some juice in me
Yeah,
before. Yeah.
if it's due. But also, it's like sometimes you revisit a song and you realize, wow, that was great the whole time. Like I just needed to like get away from it, or like literally I just needed like to speed it up, or put a different beat
Yeah.
in it, or add some BGVs. All of a sudden, it just makes sense. Like I rewrote a part of the melody of a song that I've been working on and even performing live, and I feel so much better now. I'm like, man, all it was that bridge melody I didn't like. It's just like I was about to scrap the whole song because I was just like, it just doesn't feel right. You know what I mean?
Do I know it?
I don't
Can you
think
tell me
so.
later? Oh, okay. That's fine.
We've been playing. It's pretty new. I don't think you've. I don't think. I
Have you
think I've
played
been
on
on.
tour before?
Yeah, I've just been on tour. I don't remember when the last time I played original music in Nashville was. So
Oh, because you play those shows that are like dedicated to everyone in the 1980s.
Space Prom, yeah. Were you
Yeah,
at
shout
Space
out to
Prom?
Space Prom. I was. I've been there
Cool.
Every single time, yeah.
That's sick. Wow.
Thank you. A couple times I didn't
Want to be there?
No, I did want to be there. A couple times I didn't dress up, and you made me feel really bad about it.
No, I didn't. There's no way I did.
You did. You walked up to me and you go, maybe you were joking. I bet you were. But it's just real enough for me to be like, all right, I'm going to dress up next time. Which is the whole point of those. The fake mad, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Wait, I thought you dressed as Yoda.
I did. I that was the most recent one.
Cool.
But the first one with like Toto and everything, and I think you were Elvis.
I was like Elton John, I think.
Oh, okay, which explains the heels.
I was something crazy. I don't know.
It was. I remember you kind of hurtling your body towards me, and it was honestly terrifying. You had all this makeup on and a hat on, but what scared me the most was not that you had all this makeup and that you were dressed strangely. It was that your gait was so changed by the way that you were wearing heels.
Wow.
It was. I didn't like it.
Did it make you feel? It like made you like disassociate for a second? You're just like, I don't know who this is. I kind of do.
Yeah. No,
I think I felt that before. Yeah, that's a crazy feeling. You're like, that's my homie, but your brain is like, no, stranger.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yeah. It was like a weird. It was like a not the same as like watching It or like a movie, but it's like a familiar like. Not. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe
yeah,
everybody
right.
else should tell me how to feel about it or how to talk about it.
I'm glad you came to that. I know that. Well, I don't know. It always means a lot when you come to a show. I don't know. Maybe it's just because we're best friends, but I also feel like it's not always exactly where you would be if it wasn't for me. I feel like you're kind of being a good friend by coming, not just like going to party. You know what I mean?
No, I mean I've been absent from a lot of shows, and I don't.
You don't like shows. Is that true?
I don't like the intimate nature of Nashville shows, I think.
Like the social aspect?
Well, attending them. I like playing Nashville shows because I feel really supported and it's amazing. But attending them is sometimes, I don't know. I think it's hard to like watch the show, but then also like hang out and then meet new people, and then there are several people that you're supposed to remember and you don't.
Yeah.
That happens almost at every show. I think I just get really uncomfortable and a little anxious.
Right.
But when I go to like a show like, Dawes in San Antonio or something, I feel pretty good. Maybe it's something else.
Right. So it's not live. It's not the live music. It's like you like to sit down or like have your space and like see a good show of a band you like. But you're right. I mean, it is a different thing when you go to a show at like a small bar on the east side and your friends are playing and everybody stands inside, but then there's not really a push to get to the front. It's like as soon as the band's in, everybody goes outside, smoke a cigarette.
Yes.
So it's like this big like social thing and
totally. It's an event, and I think I want it to either be a party or a show. And I like, because at shows I focus, at parties I socialize.
Yeah, I actually, that's interesting because I feel like I can understand, I can sympathize, but then at the same time I'm just like, oh, it's the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
For me, I'm like, I get to do my two favorite things.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But also like some shows have like, some of your shows have really met me where like, some of your really intimate house shows where you're just on acoustic guitar and it's like our buddies. That I love that. And then like Space Prom, when I'm wearing a costume and I'm like one of the hundreds of people there.
Right.
Sometimes like that helps a little bit.
Yeah, those space proms actually feel like they feel like a big thing. It's like
Yeah.
the crowd really is like pushing to get to the front, and I'm like
Yes.
I'm in like a green room,
Oh,
which
that
is
is.
that's different than normal. Normally, I don't have green rooms. You know, I've rarely had a green room yet in my career. I feel like
That was one of the 2 times that my friends were playing a show, and I felt like I couldn't go see them.
you
Which
felt
is,
like
I
if you
think,
went to the green room, you'd be like, they'd
I
be like,
felt
why are
like I
you
would be
here?
turned away, not because of what I wasn't invited, but I was like, this is too legit for me not to have like an armband. I'm going to need a necklace or something. It was that, and then Carly's show at the Basement East with Jordy.
Oh
Grant just like
yeah,
beeline for the green room, and I waited outside because I couldn't. I was like, I'm definitely not supposed to be here. This is way too cool.
Grant's got that like lifetime like
Yes,
swagger to him, where he's like, oh yeah, whatever.
yes. He will always have that.
He's
Dude,
also played a ton of shows.
yeah. The other day I saw a woman fall in love with Grant in like a drive-through. He was just so sweet, and it was like
Wow.
so kind, and it was just himself, but like really open, and she was just like, this is it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, whatever.
That's so cute. I wish I
This
had
is the
seen
part
that.
where I go, I don't get it.
Dude, I've seen so many people fall in love with Grant.
Me too, man.
He's so lovable. Like, fall in love with him, maybe romantically, or maybe just they're like, I want this person in my life.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Grant?
No, no one doesn't. I think I probably had a 2-week crush on him before I was buddies with him.
Wow, that's interesting because he hated you.
That's right. Should we talk about this? The man I play with most. It started off tumultuously.
It did start tumultuously. He did not understand you.
No, and I really liked him. I thought he was awesome. I always understood him. No, I'm not saying that. But
I think that's fair. I mean, I think Grant gave pretty good vibes out to everybody. So for context, we all, as I've already talked about twice, I guess, in this, here's this podcast, just because Jack and then Ella and Grant, I mean, we all went to this music program together as 20 students. We embarked on this brand new Lipscomb's contemporary music program under Charlie Peacock. And which we already talked about Charlie a lot, but I mean,
I heard about that on Ella
too, I'm sure. But
yeah,
that was special. But anyway,
I really hear that.
Really, like I think it was like one of the first days of class. We were all like talking about what we could do, and I think Jack was you were just really excited. And I think Grant thought that you were just overeager. Because you said you were like saying you could play like every instrument, and you were just.
The story gets bigger every time. I mean, I'm not denying that I think I was a bit of a jerk and a.
Sure, I would never said
not
a jerk,
but I was at least a show off. I was trying to flex.
I mean, you were going for it.
And I think
what else did you do?
Everybody.
Go ahead.
Everybody thought it was for Charlie's benefit, but it was just as much for y'all's. Like, I was trying to impress the authority figure in the room, but also I was like, I think I thought that y'all were much cooler than me. And I was like, well, at least I like sort of play cello.
Right. Yeah, right.
Well, he's like, does anybody play a string instrument? And I kind of survey the room. I'm like, me. It felt like the right time to like kind of one up everybody.
You were like, ooh, ooh. You were more like that. You were like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, you're right. 2015 me was, I don't think I knew how like concerned I was about fitting in school and worried. But also, I was excitable. I'm still excitable, but I think
you are. That's one thing that we connect on, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
And so we get pumped up. We get on the same wavelength that it's like at a party or just like on tour or whatever we're doing. We just like
yes, sync up.
We do get synced up, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like you're a friend that I just like really relate to. I feel like in the moment we both can like we can walk into a room and be like, we're doing this together. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you should have been my date till like prom in high school. You know what I mean?
Oh,
We could have just like
we didn't marry, but we are best friends.
yeah, exactly. And we would like walk into the room where the dance is going on. We both would have been like, this is not very fun.
Yeah.
And then we would have gone to like Waffle House.
Oh.
Yeah, or done the. But first we did the worm, and then
we wormed our way out.
I did do the worm.
Dude, you remember whenever you would do that thing where you would ask someone to like help you up, and then you would take their hand, and then you would throw yourself forward, as if they like with super strength had just
had like lifted me weight and like just yanked me back onto the floor.
And you would do that to me after class, and professors were there, maybe the dean of the college would walk in, and I'd be throwing you around. And I just like, I couldn't do anything but just kind of barrel over and laugh, and then go for it again. I'll be like, I'll help you up, man. But that, and then those rolling chairs. The rolling chairs were like, it was, and occasionally people would be like, Freeze, are you? And then they'd be like, oh.
Yeah, they quickly realized I was just prank. Another big prank I would do was I would always lock myself in the studio at the Coho. Then somebody would knock on the door, and I would unlock it and say, come in, and then I would jump out the window, and then I'd run in through the front door. So by the time they opened it, I would be behind them. And they'd be like, wait, who's in the studio? And I'd be there waiting at the door. I'd be like, yeah, who's in the studio? And they'd be like, what? Who's behind me?
When people don't understand your energy and I have to explain it to them, I'm like, or we're just chatting about you, and I say, this is my bit, my Freeze bit, is that no one commits to a joke quite like Nordista Freeze does.
Wow.
And I tell them a story of me opening the studio, and then you would jump out the window, which wasn't like a regular window. There was quite a drop. You would jump out the window, and then I'd look out the window, and you'd be behind me. And then we would like do this sequence. I don't know how you would start over. And then eventually I was like, I have to leave Freeze. And there was the way that this was set up back in the day, and still is. There's a studio, and then there's a couple houses, and then there's a football field.
That's right.
A long way away, like a couple blocks. I get in my car, I go around the right side of this. You could make a giant circle that would take about 2 minutes in your car to complete.
Mm-hmm.
I had taken a right, took another right, and then I took another right because I just had tried to complete the square. I think you knew where I was going, because a minute and a half later, I see you sprinting, shoes off, just trying to complete the joke of I'm here and then I'm not. It was crazy. Anyway.
I forgot I did that. Yeah, that sounds like I always wind up running in these stupid bits that I commit to. I always wind up running, and then I just get so tired and I can't stop.
You threw my phone on a roof.
Oh yeah, I did. I threw your phone on the roof during class or something. I just remember you being outside, like, "Where's my?" Oh! It was like you could see the roof from the window of the class. So my goal was for you to look outside the window of class and see your phone is just on a roof, but not know how to access it. I think I was scared that one that I'd gone too far. I remember being pretty nervous.
Yeah, I was pretty mad. But also, you can't help but someone throws your phone on a roof, and all your friends are around laughing at you. You kind of yeah, I don't know. I was pretty upset, but I think I was laughing pretty hard.
My problem is that I care too much about. I don't want to make people upset, so I want to do these jokes that are way too far. But then I'm like, oh no.
Every once in a while.
Once in a while, you've gone too far. When you go too far, you feel so stupid if you let yourself, because you're just like, why did I put that person's phone on the roof? If someone condescending really puts you in your place, you're like, oh, I'm a total fool. What am I doing?
Yeah. Oh.
But that's gross. I'm not about that.
Getting reprimanded is one of the worst things.
Truly.
that could, happen in your daily life. Even like someone honking at you because you got too close to them on their bike.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
you can't honk from a bike, but you know what I mean. Like if they
You know,
yell at you and they're like, "Hey man," and you're
yeah,
like, "I can't." It's like getting a ticket. I
yeah,
can't
totally.
handle it.
Tickets are the ultimate getting reprimanded
Oh,
by the man.
yeah.
I got
And then
pulled over
you,
last night by a cop, and he was just like, or 2 nights ago, and he was just asked me a bunch of questions. He was like, "Did you steal your van?" It was crazy. I think I talked about it last
no,
night on the show. Yeah, it was weird. I was just like, "No,
no.
I didn't."
I'm so sorry.
It's
I
all
feel
good.
like that was. I don't like that.
I definitely think that cops stop me, especially when I'm driving
That's
through Brentwood,
profiling.
because of my long hair and my minivan. But it's okay.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
I'm pretty chill about it these days. Um, as long
Okay,
as I don't have to go
well,
back to traffic school, I'll be okay. You know,
yeah. Well, you call me if you feel like you can't represent yourself. I'll just tell somebody off.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you.
Speakerphone.
I haven't seen you since I guess we listened to Ella's album together.
Yeah.
Ella had a
Yeah.
social distance party that we talked about in Ella's show. We got to hear her album in the studio that they recorded it in. It was so cool. What a
It's
wholesome
incredible.
night.
I cried.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
That
really
was
sweet.
epic.
I think I told you this that night, but I felt like leaving that. I felt like the baton was being handed to you. Out of all of our friends, like who from college, like I feel like it's your time to shine. Like you're about to do something really big, you know. Like everybody's always shining, everybody's always supporting each other. But then like something like when a friend drops an album, or maybe for me it's like Space Prom or something, you know.
Yeah.
Your time to shine. It's like your birthday. It's just so
Oh,
special. And I feel like, I mean, I know you've got a year ahead of you still, but
thank you.
you're in a lot of ways you're getting towards the end of this journey on this album, which is pretty. In other ways, you haven't even
Yeah.
started, but it's like I don't know. I mean, the fact that you're even making it, I mean, that's a feel like a big step for you. I mean, doing the Kickstarter, raising all the money, but then also just like committing to being like, no, I'm just gonna set a deadline. Because I mean, you've had
Yeah.
endless discussions with people about like if you should make
Oh,
an
yeah.
album or
Zach and I were scheduled to make an EP in 2017. You remember setting that up?
whoa.
Zach Swan and I, we were like, let's make an EP. And then he sat me down and he was like, maybe you shouldn't finish this in 3 months. Because I think that was my timeline. I think I was so fed up with waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could like go back and tell myself, like, hey, it's going to be okay. Like, even 2019 me, like, hearing night after night about like, I don't know. I felt like people were asking like why I was so slow in some ways, and I don't think that they meant it that way, but I think that I was like I got really in my head about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember those times. I remember it came a point where, I mean, within the last year where people were really wanting you to make this album because you've just been getting more and more attention and people have been getting more and more excited about your music. And at the same time, you take your time, like in a good way. You're very healthy and about the steps you take. And, you know, people are like, oh, when do we get to hear it? And you're like, well, it's not ready yet.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a different pace. Everybody's got a different style of putting out music, like we were saying. And like even you and I, we
Yeah.
put music a lot differently.
I love that though. I love the unexpected freeze drop.
Thank you.
Yeah. It makes me really happy. I love you releasing music. I think
I
that's just
appreciate that.
slowly happening every time it can.
Are you putting out singles?
Yeah, definitely. I am.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to put it out as best as I can, and I think that singles are the way to get new listeners on board before the album. I've been thinking about releasing it first as this may not happen, but releasing essentially like a 4-song album or wow EP, and then those songs would be on the record, much like Henry Jameson did. But also, I've seen artists recently, they put out a single They put out a second single, and the second single is titled that, but it has 2 tracks.
Right.
And it's the first single and the second single. And they
Mm-hmm.
do that up to 4. So you sort of have this faux EP.
Right.
It's not an EP unless you label it that. And then you know, people are like, oh, yeah, the EP.
Mm-hmm.
Which
That
I
could be
think
cool.
Henry Jemison essentially, like, he put out an EP, and I don't think it's out. I don't think it's up there anymore. But everybody was like, Henry
Right.
Jemison's new EP. It was literally just vocabulary for press, I think.
Right.
Which in that I get, you know, excited about that. I'm all about making the most of what we're making.
Right. Totally. I mean, that's one of the reasons why singles are so fun, is that you really just get to like milk every single song.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, like when you put out an album, is really, really exciting. Like in a case like Ella's, like she can put out some singles, but people aren't gonna really understand it until they hear the album.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so interesting.
Do you feel like, is your album do you think it's gonna feel like really cohesive? Is it gonna feel like, or is it gonna be conceptual at all? Just like string of hits?
Well, string of hits.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like I see what you're saying.
Like, it's just gonna feel like, you know, a 50s record where it's just like, here's a bunch of dope songs.
Yeah, where they're like pretty disconnected. Whenever you said cohesive, I thought you meant recording style.
That too, maybe just like production.
Yeah, the production of the recording style is gonna be really consistent. That's my favorite. My favorite records are. It feels like it was recorded in one room.
Like it was a session. Almost.
Yeah, which we may not do that. But we want it to feel like the listener walked into the studio, put headphones on, and then watched this session. And I think that that's important with mixing too, is that you hear in your earphones, you feel like the drums are over here and the background vocals are maybe a little bit closer to you, and then
wow, okay.
I'm really excited about that as making it feel like the room. And you can do that with different ways. I just learned about this. Quinn Redmond, who's producing the record, he which we already talked about, he talked about noise. Noise is like the walls. For instance, with Billie Eilish, there's like no noise. You feel like you're in like this dark ether of Billie and her voice. And she, you know, it's nothing, and then she'll sing you, and you feel like the room's not there. But as soon as there's a little bit of noise in the track, you're like, oh, I feel the walls.
Right. I think I know what you mean. I feel like a lot of records that I listened to from like the 70s really got into that like world where they got the studio to be like really, it's like there's like silence, or like you feel like you're entering a world like Dark Side of the Moon, or even like the Beatles, like at the end of With a Little Help from My Friends, and you're listening to Sgt. Pepper all the way through, right before Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and there's just like, there's a special kind of silence, there's a special kind of feeling where you feel like you're in their world. It's very, there's just some albums that just like capture that, and it makes every single, and you feel like every single note and every single thing is so important. Does that make sense at all?
I love that. I want to put a little silence in my record somewhere.
Well, so a lot of your influences are bands that, for the most part, I feel like tell it like it is. Like Dawes, you know, is a band we both really like, and they're a band that's a band. You listen to it and you're like, here's the band. Here's especially like all your favorite bands, and you know, some albums they experiment a little bit more, especially recently, but there is a lot of that, like, just like, this is a band playing their music. It's just, and when you see them live, you'll hear a similar thing. Is that kind of what you're going for with this album?
It's important to me that, and we may have like, you know, bass baritone in there, which I don't think is going to be on stage, but I don't want people to be like, oh, I sort of wish she played it like the record, or vice versa. They hear you on stage and then they're like, I kind of liked it with, you know, I don't want to replicate everything. I want to be like super original on stage, especially the farther you get away from the record, time wise. the more
Cool.
experimental you get. I really like that idea of
Yeah,
arrangements changing and instruments changing. But
that's
that's
cool.
yeah.
Do you feel like as an artist, are you like some artists? I think about like Bob Dylan. He makes like statements. Like his album is like a whole new Bob Dylan. You know what I mean? Like the next album, it's like, oh, Dylan's gone into this world with this band. Then there's also some people like let's say like Dave Rawlings and Gillian Welch, who it's
Oh
almost
yeah, where
more
they're
like
like,
they're just working on their craft. It's like here's some more
yeah,
songs that we've been writing, and it's different a little bit because we are different people, but like we're not trying to like reinvent ourselves. We're just like honing in, and we're like alchemists or something,
yeah.
like making everything just down to taking everything down to its essence.
Wow,
Do
that's a
you,
really good question.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever thought about that? Like, what kind of artist you'd want to be when you look back 20 years from now?
Wow, I think that I don't know. I think if I land on something that I really love, I think I want to spend a lot of time there.
Mm-hmm.
But also I don't want to. I love Willie Nelson, but he'll play like the same guitar solo every night
Mm-hmm.
on stage because it works. And I don't think I could do that. I don't. So maybe somewhere in between. I know Gillian and Dave are very much. It's funny that those are the examples you bring up. That's great examples.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah, but I think that with Bob Dylan's, I think that there's a lot that I think I miss.
Well, like there is a lot of stuff in there. I guess there's like a Dylan. I mean, his changes I feel like sometimes are pretty expressively different, like just are aesthetically different. It
Yeah,
could also
yeah,
just be more like, um, like making a darker album, or like making an album that's
sure.
more like bright
Yeah,
or more inspired, just like by different feeling. Like I've always thought it'd be cool to be an artist who is like that. Like I'd love to make an album that's just really dark. People are like, wow, Freeze is going through it in this album,
yes,
and
yeah,
just kind of like have different emotional colors just show through. I don't know if I've
yeah,
done that yet in my career, but I would like to like
yeah.
continue to
Show
push
like a
myself.
different side of you.
Mm-hmm.
Not like a new, phase that you're going through, but I totally understand that. I definitely feel like, yeah, my music represents a very specific part of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, I feel like we're so young as artists.
Oh yeah.
Already, I feel like my songs that I'm choosing from kind of have this like big divide of when I started writing songs that were good and that I thought were good and thought were what I wanted. And then there's like who I think I am now and who I would like to be.
Right.
So I hear like a huge shift. Like for instance, Find Another One's much more pop
Is that
and
going to be the
hooky.
album? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't know.
What about well, right. So, do you ever feel like cuz this is something I'm dealing with right now. I'm recording 5 songs that I have written, a while ago at this point.
Uh,
And sometimes I'm like, I waited too long. Like, I think I've
yeah.
lost it. Like, I don't even know if I like
So
this song anymore, but I wish that people could have had it, but it's just too
same.
late. I didn't record it, and now I don't want to record it.
Yeah.
Do you wish that you'd put out an album already, like 4 songs you don't like as much anymore?
No. 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 No.
No.
Definitely not.
But what about the ones that I mean, I know that you probably get messages where people are like, I want to hear a song,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
I
don't know
don't
what a good
know.
example speak because I don't know it's going to be on the album, but I know there are songs that we all like that we're not going to get. You know,
Thank you.
is that
I
just our
think
loss? Because you're the artist, you get to decide. Is that how it is?
I think it's okay with me. Oh, that sounds so mean. I think
No,
it's
it's not.
okay with me, but I also think that if somebody rallies hard enough, then I will send them a voice memo. So it feels like it's not
Yeah,
a big deal. I haven't dealt with any repercussions. I'm just doing what
I'm
I
gonna
want.
kick your butt.
Dude,
Um,
all right.
well,
Let's deal with some repercussions.
a, a I think you're going to have a bomb Patreon one day where I'm gonna get to hear these songs I haven't heard yet. You ever thought about that?
People, I mean, it's a pretty good idea. You're saying I should keep the best ones in my
Yeah.
back pocket. You're like, if you join my Patreon for $4 a month.
Thank you for donating to my album, but
right? Oh, dude, do you think is this a crazy idea? Okay, this is just so random. You know how Wolfpack is doing their 10th track? They're selling it. Basically, the airwaves of their 10th track on their upcoming album. They're selling it on eBay. It's like a 2-minute or 3-minute track that anyone can record anything. Did you not know about this?
that is terrifying.
Right.
What they're doing?
Guess
What?
how much it's up for.
How much?
Oh,
Is it bidding right now?
Yes.
Let's see. Let's check this out. That's so wait, somebody's gonna have a song on their album?
It is track 10 on Wolfpack's new record. Oh, it hasn't changed in a long time. It is $50,100.
And somebody is like paying that?
Yes. There's 21 days left, and there's 1,387 watchers. Not that they would change their mind. But what it can tell you how many bids.
Ooh.
137 bids.
Wow. It started at do we know?
1 cent. And then the first bid is 2,200. What? Do you think that was Wolfpack?
Yes.
Wolfpack was like, we think this is going to do well, and this is how much we're willing to risk.
I absolutely do. These guys are always just doing things like this. I have so much love for Wolfpack. They're amazing.
Wow. Somebody retracted their bid. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. But
I cannot believe this.
What would you think about me doing that with like my first guitar? Not for that much money, obviously. No. But what if so the guitar's worth like $68.
Right.
What if I just like signed it and then put the starting price up there for $300 and I was like, just gonna get a new guitar. And I was like, this guitar is 10 or 12 years old. And
that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think I'd be kind of sad, but also be really cool to get a new guitar.
Yeah, I just sold my original 12 original paintings on Instagram.
I saw that, and they were gone.
They sold really quick. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I sold them for like, I think it was like $22 maybe or something like that. It was something like not. I felt like I was it was a fair price, or maybe selling myself short even. Like it wasn't a ton to ask for a painting. But my point being, to get back to what we're talking about, is I sent them all out in the mail, and I was really sad. I was like, man, I love these paintings, and I'm getting rid of them. But at the same time, I felt good because I returned home and my painting desk was just empty. And I was just like, all right, let's go. Like the clutter is gone. Like it felt great in a certain sense. And it was cool to like, obviously to give them to a good cause and send them to friends and all that. Of course. I mean, that's what it's about. But it was this weird, like bittersweet feeling. Like, so maybe selling a guitar like that, I'm sure it'd be liberating, and it would be helpful because you'd make some money. I feel like when you tour, which we both have kind of built a base out of like touring to some extent. Wait, what's going on with you?
I was wondering. Okay, hey.
Was it your light?
That was weird. No, it was my monitor.
I'm glad we didn't lose you.
At any point, it could happen again. That's really interesting that my monitor turns off and so does my webcam.
No, we didn't lose you.
What did you?
I just saw you.
What was I doing? I was trying to act natural.
The lighting on your face just like got darker. So I thought maybe your like lights went out or something.
No, my monitor. So you went away, but you kept talking, and I was like,
"You're like, oh, freeze." That's funny.
But I was just gonna try to turn it back on. It may happen again.
You did good.
Thanks, man.
I was just going to say that when you build a base through like touring and people like meeting you, which like we both kind of have, people really like you for you, which is like a cool advantage when you're like touring. You know what I mean? And so when it comes to like Patreon, like I think that's why the Arcadian Wild, who just launched their Patreon, like I think they're going to do so well because they've just spent years and years. I mean, longer than you or I
Yeah.
have touring. He
Wow.
says that I've played more shows than them now, which I thought was a high compliment. But
They're what?
that's what
Wow.
Lincoln said. I don't
I
know.
mean,
They've
I
toured
don't.
for they've toured consistently for like 6 years,
That's true.
but I guess I do go hard with those like 50 show tours that
Yeah.
I'm not as keen on lately.
I think I'm not. I don't think I'm surprised. I think I'm just. Yeah, I don't know. I never really thought about comparing you two because y'all both do things so differently, and
We do.
you're so regular. Um.
I'm so regular.
And,
They're so original.
oh.
No, I really do. We are really different, and I mean, I look up to them a ton. They're the band who like them and Rainey. When we came to Lipscomb, they were like the only two bands, and
Yeah.
Rainey obviously they broke up and used their band fund to throw a kegger, which was, that's one route. And the Arcadian Wild have just consistently just bulked up year
Yeah.
after year, and have just built make incredible music, and have one of the most impressive fan bases. And talk about being able to like kickstart, but also with this new Patreon, it's just like I know they are going to do so well with that. Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want
Yeah.
to be a part
Oh my
of
gosh.
that? But I think that's true for you too, and I think that's why I know that they would agree with me because they've asked you to open up for them on tour a lot. You're the type of artist that people just want to know more about. So that's why I brought that up. I know you're not even talking about Patreons, but when I just talk like the fact that you already have music that people are like, we want to hear this music, and you're like, I don't know how to get it to you because it might not be on my album. It's like that's a pretty special place to be in. It's pretty rare.
Yeah. I thank you. I am one thing that I will also say about the Arcade Wild is that that's largely because of them. That fact that you just brought up.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, and they have this base that just worships the band, and for good reason.
Yeah.
They're incredible. Um and I just get to like tap into it because of tour, and then also obviously they've booked so many shows that I've been able to go to all these cities.
Yeah.
Carly too. Carly has like a totally different fan base, so then I just get to like mooch off of everybody's. And it's the biggest ones. It's the biggest supporters that come first. Because they're like, oh, you're friends with this person. And then they're like, they want to enter into the Nashville world. And I love that because I do too.
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
with, all these people, Dave Barnes and Ben Rector and Thad Cockrell and Ruby Amonfu, I'm like, I want to be there. I always
Yeah.
have. Wow.
There's a cool world. And
Yeah.
and there is one with the Arcadian Wild too, and there is with these bigger artists. Yeah, and I totally know what you mean. Like if I went to a show, I remember going to see Noah Gunderson, and this guy Armin J opened up, and he also I think played in Gunderson's band, maybe on some songs. And he was the approachable version of Noah Gunderson though. Like I was intimidated of Noah
Ooh.
Gunderson, but Armin
Like
J was
this
like
guy.
he's like the opener, and he's like a little bit more just like easygoing. I was just like, I remember after Grant and I talking to him, we were just like, we think you're awesome, and he was like, I think y'all are awesome, and we were like, we want to open for you one day, and he was like, I think I'll be opening for you one day. I just have a feeling. And I was just like that guy, that meant the world to me. You know what I
Stop.
mean?
That is tender.
And I don't know. Yeah, that's just cool. But I mean, I think you have been really, I guess, blessed would be the word to
Yeah.
in terms of just like receiving a really awesome gift to be able to like open for the Arcadian Wild and be a part of going on tour with Carly and Grant, Carly Bannister and S. Grant Parker on y'all's awesome tours. But it's also a
Yeah.
mutual thing, like especially with Carly and Grant, like you did such a good job conducting those tours and like put in a ton of the work.
I like being the organizational friend, I think, because
Mhm.
it makes me feel necessary, I think also. Whenever you're like you feel like your friends have been doing this for longer and they're spot on. I've literally never heard Carly sing a wrong note.
Yeah, I haven't either.
You get self-conscious on tour, but then I was like, I know these guys love me, and I know that I'm gonna make sure that they're okay, and that was special to me, I think.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let me think like that for long. They're really big supporters and
Yeah,
value.
they are really big supporters. They really do. They believe in
Yeah.
you a lot. A
Oh
lot
my
of people
gosh.
do. A lot of people believe in you a lot.
Thank you.
Some of the people that we've talked about already on the show, some on other episodes, but like you and Charlie Peacock have a really special relationship that I've got to witness. I would say you're the closest of any of us to Charlie. And you've worked for him a lot, and you and Brown are really tight. Brown and Debbie Bannister, and
Debbie just texted me and she said, "Do you need a thermometer?"
they're
And I say
good
that with
neighbors
my,
too.
"Do you need a thermometer?" Yeah, they are good neighbors.
That's cool. You live right next to Lipscomb, so in a lot of ways, your perspective on Nashville, you've kind of doubled down. Like you weren't like, I'm gonna move to the east side after being at Lipscomb. Like
Yeah.
you're like a right next to 12th South, you're right next to Belmont, right next to Lipscomb, and your community is too. I mean, it's a really special. I used to live right down the road from you. I was one road over, and then me and
Outer
S.
space.
Grant Parker and Benjamin and Clay. But then I'm talking about Maplehurst. So me and Big Sma lived in Maplehurst. I lived
Yes.
even closer to
Yes.
you. And Z
Oh,
Swan just around the corner. Brown Bannister lives on what South? Oh wait, I guess I didn't say a street.
maybe.
He lives on South Road.
Yeah, 12 South Road.
Not that somebody's gonna be like, I know
No.
what street Brown lives, and they're just driving up and down
But
looking for
dude,
Brown.
I feel so protective of
Totally.
those guys. Even like at shows, whenever your friends want to meet them, you're
Mm-hmm.
like, over here. Like I
Well,
just
it's just
want.
why are they even our friends? Like, why are they even our mentors?
I know.
I don't feel undeserving. I'm like, what on earth? Like,
Oh
you guys
yeah.
were, but it's because like we're their students and like we're so
Yeah.
grateful. It's like a different relationship that like not that they don't take us
So lucky.
seriously, but it's just like they have nurtured us and like they cherish us in
Yeah.
a special way, and we obviously cherish them, our professors, and all the cool people,
Yeah.
mainly Brown and Charlie, and but are the ones I keep in contact with. But I mean, there's also like
Dude,
Russ and Brent and
do you remember whenever Brent I heard about this. I don't think I can tell the whole story, but didn't didn't you weren't you recording Cosmic House at like 10 a.m. in the morning?
earlier is
And
8 a.m.
oh, okay, 8 a.m. And Brent walks in, says not a word, and just hands everybody these like 60-year-old guitars.
Oh yeah,
And
in
he's
a
just like
box of
leaves.
strings, box guitar strings, and all these old guitars, and he's just I think literally everybody like just changed their rig for the recording
Yeah.
session,
Oh,
which
and
like
what a
they're like
gift.
locking it in, and they're just like, oh, this guitar from the 60s, cool. I'll use that. Like this feels great. And
Yeah.
you know, Brent is a really, really awesome dude, and I have a ton
I
of
love
respect for
Brent.
him. I was not a good student in his class, and for any reason, he could have totally like chosen to like hold that against me. But when he showed up with the gear, it was just like affirmed. I just felt so good.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were
just like,
like,
wow,
oh,
like he gets it. Like I know that I am booking a tour during music production class, but he knows that I like
he's been
continue.
there.
Yeah. He's been
He's
there.
he was I don't know. So many stories that I've heard about Brent are like the guy grinds and has been
Hmm.
grinding for his whole life, and he's
Totally.
not unfamiliar with this work.
I feel like with Lipscomb hiring all of these like amazing industry people,
Yeah.
like I don't know if like the corporate elites had realized that they were hiring like such non-academic folks so they would have done it.
Oh,
But like, Brown is the one who like encouraged me to drop out. And Charlie didn't really care if I did either. Like these people
yeah.
care more about my career than they do my money or me getting a degree, which is how it should be. I think if I'm going to I'm looking at them as my mentors, and they're they're like, because you've come to me at Lipscomb, I'm going to help you make it in the industry. You know, I'm going to teach you what I know. And they did that in the most genuine way, which was sending me off, like me not being enrolled in the school anymore, which is like
Truly.
maybe an L when it comes to like the upper academics. You know, they wouldn't actually prefer that, but these people are professors and people in charge of this music program care about me enough to where they will just let me do that and encourage me to just do what I actually need to do, which is like, that's one of those like customer service, like in the, like in other industries, you know, it's like, I can't believe they did that. Like they gave it to me for free. Like what? But it's like, in turn, I speak so highly of Lipscomb, like the music program. Like I believe in it so much because I know that it's such a genuine place that actually fosters relationships. Like I'm not giving a plug and it's not a commercial, you know, it's just like these homies helped me like for real in ways that I changed my life.
Yeah. You know? And like they're still helping us. Like so much of my community is because of like the luck I had in stumbling upon Lipscomb, and I know you because of them, and I know my best friends are from there. And then I was asking Brown about my record, and just, you know, he was just advising, and he tried to make it out like I was helping him. He's like, I'm learning so much about like what is going on with the young people in the industry, and I was like, I wanted to cry because I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really generous perspective, especially from our perspective. We're like, what? That's not true. Like,
no.
How am I helping you?
The scales are so tipped.
Yeah.
We can maybe we're like, well, we're kind of fun. Okay. You know, we'll like eat your food and
we're like grandkids. We like bring life to the party. We're like,
Exactly.
Yeah, for real. That's like our value. That's hilarious. Yeah. Man, a lot of really sweet people, and we have countless memories there. I was on the phone with Ella last night after a few nights ago after we finished our episode, and I was like, I wish that I still had some of those things. And it's weird because I've never been that kind of person. Like I don't look back, and I especially don't like.
Yeah.
I've never been someone who's like, oh, take me back to high school. It's like, I think the best times are ahead, and like I keep working on me, and I keep working on. I'm just always looking forward, but like, there are things now that I'm out of undergrad. I look back on that community really fondly, and I wish. Sometimes there are ways I think I still haven't quite figured out how to like have those community aspects like grow in my life. Like in some ways I feel more like isolated.
Yeah.
And maybe some of that's impossible because it's just living on campus. Like you're like living a lifestyle that is funded by your parents or funded by your scholarships. It is temporary,
and you have to be there with them. Like you have to arrive at 8 a.m.
Totally. There's a lot of contracts too to it, but I don't know. I feel like there's things that I could still like I wish I still lived in a place where I could see you and Ella and Chelsea and Grant and all of my friends every day, you know?
Yeah. Right now it's especially hard. We're technically not allowed to see each other. And also like I think Ella's like kind of moving to Antioch.
Yeah, right.
And
that stinks. Yeah, because that's another person who lives right next to you.
I mean, that I'm gonna feel that loss.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I don't want her to go. And then my housemates who I adore, I can't handle them leaving. Yeah. But and it's just hard. I thought to myself the other day, I was like, gosh, I should have just like moved to Scotland right before COVID and just, you know, I'm much better at total changes than
just losing things.
In sort of these like slip sliding.
Yeah.
Into a new reality. It's, oh man, it's gross.
Totally.
But I don't know. You know, I don't know if I was necessarily happy in 2015, but I always want to go back.
Yeah, right. Well, you're very nostalgic too, specifically.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Remember that one day that we went back and visited campus.
Ooh, wait,
Do you
which
remember
time?
that? We were like, it was you and me, and we were walking around. I don't even remember. I think I was sad that you were leaving, and
Yeah,
it felt
like dropping out.
like like things were falling apart.
Hmm.
And I took you to uh, Shamblin. Remember? We walked around. And I was like, oh, and then we went into
Yes.
I was like, remember, this is where Identity Artistry was. And then I
Yeah.
go, oh, remember, this is where Identity Artistry was on the first day. And then we moved and never arrived here again.
Yeah. That classroom.
I feel that room. I'm sad about that room that I was in one time, but it's where I met you. And
And Ella. That's where I met
yeah, you
Ella.
were, oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's I feel that too. I want to do that again. I would go walk around campus sometime. There's part of it is nostalgia. You're like, I look back on something and it just feels perfect, but then I know why I dropped out of school. You know what I mean? It's like I had
Yeah.
to, and it's like
You kick back. I mean, not kick back. You have like a. You're like, but this is why.
mm-hmm. Right. I have
I think that's
to.
important.
But I also don't ever want to like neglect. Like I try to do that with youth group too. Like I think a lot about like my church youth group. I had like so many formative experiences, like going on these like spiritual retreats and like camps and like mission trips and stuff. And it's like, just because I'm not like, I don't know, like there are a lot of things that I wouldn't replicate about those because of I'm an adult now, and just certain like, but I do like, I'm always trying to find ways to like take the things I do still am fond about those things and like do them. Like I do really want to do like a retreat. We've talked about it a lot, but like with like you and all the homies, like have like a songwriting retreat or something. Just like things that like take what we loved about those things, take what we love about our past memories and like reinstating them in like beautiful,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we need to go somewhere. Have like a schedule where we like
Exactly.
get up, and we wake up, and we have breakfast together, and then
Yeah.
three of us get tired of two of us. Oh, I would love that.
For real, that would be sick.
Love some tension, some drama.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Some
Because then
drama
you're
to it,
like,
some
remember that one time?
romance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, some interconnected platonic romance.
Yeah, we'll have like one new guy who's just like really hot. And,
no new guys. That's my rule. Remember?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. No new guys. We have the new girl who's just like very beautiful.
Even worse.
Yeah, who just takes Grant and I's attention. We're just both pining for her love, and you're like, "Who wants to play? Who wants to play Scrabble?" And we're like, "I think we were all actually gonna go hang out in the hot tub." And you're like,
that.
"No." What about the song, guys?
Yeah, I'll be over immediately. The one time that actually did happen was in.
On tour?
Yeah, I was on tour. It was the one time that we've toured together. That happened.
In Little Rock?
No, it was Cersei. You wandered off. Not really. You didn't wander off, but you went and hung out with these three girls with Grant at like Waffle House. Yes. And Carly and I were like, we're not going with you. We're what? And
it sounds very familiar.
We just like, we felt the dynamic and we're like, we're gonna go. We stopped at McDonald's and probably have never laughed harder. It was a mix of like, we're having a good time without the boys. And
yeah.
Just craziness. I think we were at McDonald's and trying to throw stuff in trash cans. It was great.
Something about you and especially Carly makes me want to live into my rock stardom more. Like I remember being on tour, I just felt even crazier because like you guys try to implement some sort of like structure to the story, and I'm just like, woo, tour's about partying. It's like I like become like a I become a plastic version of myself. I'm like, I'm Freeze. I'm on tour with y'all. I'm gonna drink a Red Bull.
I love that. I love it when people are like in character with
I just feed off of it.
Yeah. And it's a forgiving thing too, I feel like. Mm-hmm. At least for me, I'm like, I was just in character, like being like, 2 things about your set that can improve.
Yeah, right. Being in character is helpful.
It is.
I like being an exaggerated version of myself.
Yeah. And also you can make fun of the things that are actually real and maybe a little toxic. But you know, it's like an exaggerated form of yourself. It's like a cartoon.
Right. Dude, I talk to Gail about this all the time because I'm convinced that like me and Grant and Clay and you and Zach and you know, I could go on, but like our friendship, I feel like there's a lot of us in our friend group have a way of like communicating that is not passive aggressive, but is also not aggressive or confrontational. Like we can be confrontational in a healthy way, but we also like can make jokes.
There's like this veto, and then you'll say something.
Just like weird noises. It's like this language when you're best friends with people. You speak a language that communicates. Like Grant and I never have to like. We never have to confront each other like you hurt my feelings. Like it's like we, but I don't feel like it's unhealthy. Like I feel like we can talk about things if we need to, but it's like I don't know. It's almost like subconscious
that
or
when
something.
when you do have to confront something, it's like it's not cozy. I don't know if you've ever had to like with those same people been like, hey, that was messed up.
Yeah, right.
When it happens, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, like you just want to. I don't know. I think you're right. Carly's mentioned that before. That there's like a sort of language, and I think for me, a lot of it is imitation because of being around you and Grant. That's something that I had to learn. Whereas y'all had, grown up together. And same thing with
that's part of it. Grant and I and Sam, and Clay, we've been friends since 5th grade. It's like
I mean, it's a moving train. It's tough to keep up with y'all.
Yeah, right.
How am I doing?
You're doing great.
How's my driving?
Your driving is great. It's crazy that you've become like you have become one of our best friends, but I don't know when it happened. I don't know. Like we tell that story about you and Grant, and it's hilarious, but it's like it was just you slowly have become just a really good friend of mine and Grant's. Like like I say that like and know that's true. Like it's like we're really good friends and
Ella too. Yeah,
and Ella, and it's just I don't know how that happened, but I'm so glad it has. It's just been a really sweet and steady friendship that's kind of that's just emerged, and I'm so glad you live here in Nashville with us and that you're a part of our circle.
I am too. It's one of my favorite things about life.
You gonna keep living here?
I think so. I think that if I moved, I think I would bring a couple people with me.
To a different city?
To a different country.
Dude, what?
You ready?
I'm ready.
You, me, Chelsea, Zach, Grant, Ella.
Marielle.
Who else wants to come along? Oh, yeah, Mari. There it is again. We all move to Edinburgh. Create our own music scene there. Yeah, are you ready?
Directions to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Getting directions to Edinburgh, Scotland.
It's borough, but it's just I thought it was Berg.
Oh, no.
But they said Edinburgh. Is it in Scotland?
Getting directions to Illinois.
Getting directions to Springfield.
I said Illinois one time.
And it repeated it?
No, I said Illinois in front of a crowd in Illinois.
Did they think you were joking?
I said Illinois, and then I gulped on stage. I was very aware, and they were very aware that I became aware. It was embarrassing, but it was a nice joke, I guess we could return to.
One time I jokingly said the wrong city's name because someone had made some sort of joke. There's some sort of dynamic, like I was like a crazy rock star. And I think the crowd got it, but it still was like, I don't know if I should have done that. Edinburgh.
They were like, this crazy rock star.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's above the UK. Oh, wait, is this in?
It's in Scotland.
Oh, cool.
While we're there, I'm going to find myself a David Tennant, who, if y'all haven't seen it, he's in Broadchurch, which is one of my favorite shows.
Cool. Wait, he lives there? So you're trying to meet him? That's why we're all moving there?
No, I mean, he's from Scotland, but I would find myself the equivalent like a young.
There's just one. There are versions
There are
of him all
multiples.
over
There's
there.
just like
Just
yes,
in Edinburgh.
little cartoon versions of
That's sick.
himself.
That's sick.
Yeah, and then, I mean, go ahead.
Well, I'm glad we're doing this now. I'm glad we're documenting because I want to have you back on, in like a year or two, and maybe by then we'll be there. So
By then we'll be like, so we're in the same room
yeah,
in Edinburgh.
yeah, exactly. I didn't know that was in your plans at all. Something you've been thinking about?
Something I thought about a lot. I've never been. The one time I was overseas, it was in Costa Rica. I've never been across the pond though.
Yeah.
I love the BBC. I love the BBC News. I love what BBC makes in film and television. I really like just the way that it looks in general, and I like that the people there they don't really hug you, but they seem really nice.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's cool.
Honestly,
well, what are you gonna still do music?
Yeah. That's why I said we were going to establish a music scene there if they don't already have one.
Right.
Which I think they do. It's a pretty like artistic city. Museums, the food there is crazy. One time I watched this food video where these two guys were like, "We're going to go eat some wings." And then
in Scotland?
It was really well produced, 16-year-old kids from London.
Cool.
And I hear in the back, Summer, love it. Give me
No way, that song?
It's Summer
by like
Lovin'
Jordy
by
and
the
Jude
crew.
and the Tuesday crew.
Steven. It's in the background of this random YouTube video I was watching, and it was sick. Weird. It was like a little bit like Facebook ad. They tell you what you need.
Right.
No, but I am proud of them for ending up in my.
Yeah, that's sick.
The things I stream, yeah.
Wow, that would be crazy if you did that move, or if we did that move.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it alone.
You see that on my ice?
I did see it.
Drink.
On your.
It's good. I got it.
Okay.
Honey. Well, I guess you got at least a year here where you could be making this album. You're not gonna move on us.
Yeah, I got a year lease. So.
Well, sweet. It's gonna be a crazy year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of stages of you making this album.
Thank you, man. I thought you were just talking about 2020 in general, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a crazy year.
Yeah, that too.
Hey, but when is the record coming out for you?
I don't really know. I don't think I'm making a record. I'm just putting out songs. I have five more that I've recorded with like Grant and Sma and Future Crib and me. Well, Bryce and Johnny from Future Crib.
I'm excited about.
And Trevor.
And the boys, I heard.
Yeah, that's right. I'm working on a song, or maybe more, with And the Boys, and me and Nathaniel Banks from Arley.
Yeah.
We've been just making songs, and I don't know what's going to see the light of day, but we're just being creative,
I thought it was a record because of how cohesive
my singles,
all your art's been. Yeah, I think I just was like, oh, nice, he's prepping.
I mean, I've recorded them all in the same place with the same band. I have the same visual artist, doing the photo shoots. So there's a lot of cohesion to it.
I mean, you could do it for the press.
Yeah, I don't know. I might make it an album. I might just. I mean, I'm over a year into this album cycle now. Wisteria came out over a year ago.
Whoa.
So yeah, I mean.
Never too late though.
Yeah, I just think.
Like that.
I don't think so either. I think I'm just gonna keep putting out songs, and then maybe one day I'll be like, I'm ready for a really big change, and I have 15 singles. I'm just gonna package it as like an album. It'll feel like we were talking about different styles of albums.
Uh-huh.
My thinking is because I'm so influenced by 60s pop right now, early 60s, like even like pre-Beatles, like 1962. You know what I mean? Like to win before an album was a concept, that I could just release an album of singles. Really, it's just all the singles. Like I think that makes sense in a modern format because singles are so important right now, but it also has to do with like this early 60s style. So I think that there's like some cohesion there to where I could release it like this, like retrospective, like here are all my hits, like here's my album. Kind of thing whenever I'm ready to move on from this. So, and right now I still feel stoked to be making tracking songs like pretty much to tape with the boys. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it until I'm ready to call it quits, I guess.
They sound so good, man.
Thank you so much, and I'm really excited to hear what you've got going. I'm excited to be your friend and get to kind of get some sneak peeks, hopefully, and just into the process and how it's going. And I hope that you'll come back on this for real and like maybe when it's out or something we could do it again. So I guess it'll be in about a year. So
this is dude, thanks for having me on your podcast. We'll have to have you come in and you know, at least put some shouts on the record, like literal shouts or something.
that would be sick. I'd love to have a tiny print so I could like claim it for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. Especially since you're homies with Quinn. Just seems like default.
Yes, please let me be a part of that.
Done.
I do have. I guess we should about call it quits. We've been talking. This is gonna be a good episode. But
I got all night.
I do need to ask, who else should I bring on? You thought about that?
Oh, for sure, Carly.
Word.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's honestly.
Call Carly Bannister.
Oh, okay.
Do you think she'll do it?
Carly Bannister.
I mean, yeah.
Who else?
Should we do it at the same time? Would that be weird?
I don't think that would work. I don't think you can do that.
But you're right. But
I could merge you on the call.
When she answers,
add you.
I will call her.
Oh yeah. She's not gonna answer me. Oh snap! She answered.
What are you doing?
Just recording my TV show.
You have a TV show?
Yeah, we're live right now.
Wait, Jacqueline's calling me.
Merge.
How do I do it?
I don't know.
I don't know how to merge.
Don't. Well, we're filming a show right now, me and her. Oh, wait, she's saying something to me.
There?
Wait, she can't hear you if you say whatever you're saying to me because I have headphones on.
Is she with you?
Okay. No, we're social distance. We're Zoom. We're on a Zoom call.
And you're filming this?
Yeah, we're filming this live. You're gonna be on the show if that's okay.
Oh my gosh. I feel so bad because I'm watching Harry Potter, which is important.
Oh, you should go back to that. I was just gonna ask if you wanted to come on the show sometime.
Cool. Yeah, I want to.
Okay, cool. Wait, they were watching Harry Potter last night when I filmed the episode 2, the people, that house. This is weird.
This is the very last one, and it's life-changing, so.
Oh, well, I've never made it that far, so no spoilers, please.
Okay, well, let's just say the good guys win.
Carly, I'm really excited to hear you on the show.
Nope.
Sorry.
Oh, she can't hear you? Oh, wait, get it. She can't hear you. Okay, you should get back to that.
Carly can't hear me.
I can't hear you.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's been nice talking to you.
Great talking.
I love your work.
Wow.
And same to you.
Do you realize that I put this up to the
Bye-bye.
mic expecting that she would hear it?
Dude, she can't hear you at all. This all voicemail.
Wow. The folks on Spotify are gonna be so confused.
Yeah, they're gonna be mad.
Dude, I'm really excited about my presence on Spotify.
Yeah, people are gonna type in your name and just get this, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's kind of cool.
It is cool. I'm excited. Yeah, dude.
Hi, my name is Jac Thompson. I'm a singer-songwriter from Southeast Texas. My social security number is, and sorry, that's just my spiel. I practiced interviews way back in the day.
That was really good.
Thank you. Yeah, you want to try? Let's try like. You're listening to 105.7 Nordista Freeze Fun Zone. There's no.
That was good.
Yeah, thanks. I can't wait for the
That was
day
actually
whenever.
really good. Wow.
Thank you.
No problem. Anything else we want to shout out? I don't reckon. I know we have more we can talk about, but really, I guess people just need to follow you everywhere they can.
Follow me on Spot. I'm just kidding. If this is a year old, you can follow me on Spotify. If not,
Instagram.
Instagram. Guys, Nordista Freeze is one of my favorite people of all time. If you're here because you came here to see me, not surprised. I'm just kidding. I'd be shocked. But if you are, Nordista Freeze is the loveliest person of all time. You should listen to my favorite tracks. First is Wisteria. Second is Dolphin. And then Good Time.
Whoa, cool.
And Tonight Was Good. Dude, objectively, just the perfect song.
Wow, thank you so much.
Absolutely, I stand by that. I think it's like it's something that deserves to be like re-recorded and re-recorded and re-recorded all throughout your career.
Yeah,
just like something that just like shows up on your 12th record and you're like, oops.
That would be sick. I do have a history of re-recording songs, so and re-releasing them. I've done that with Homecoming Queen from Space Travel to Cosmic House, and then now the new Hey Gigi. I just think it's a fun way to kind of like explain yourself. It's like, hey, I used to be that, but now I'm this, and even my old songs sound like this. You know? I don't know. Reinvented.
Yeah, and no one dislikes a re-recorded song. I don't think so. I don't think you can go wrong.
Unless you're just re-recording it like, you know, like all the old bands who now have like re-recordings because they like didn't own their masters or something from all the contractual problems. It's like when you go to like Spotify and your favorite artist has like a song, it's like a re-recording that's just trying to be the old recording.
That like both of them have millions of plays, but this one was obvious. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've excuse me. I'm more familiar with when I misspell like a country song or something, like it's supposed to be getting down, and then I type in getting down, and then I get this new artist, and I'm not sure who the artist is that's gonna sing it, and then I start listening to it, and I'm like, going fishing on a Saturday night, and then I'm like, this is weird. I don't remember it this way, and then I go, wow, this song really sucks. And it's just somebody who took advantage of people typing in the title wrong on Spotify and made a really good lookalike.
That's like the same song?
The time. It's the same song. It's just some guy who releases a single who sort of it's crazy.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've always thought it'd be interesting to name your song, like to make a song very quickly, like that is the same name as a famous song, but it'll come up like it'll just play like second when somebody will show up second.
Like but always on my mind.
It's just a completely different song though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard for people though. I mean, if you're trying to actually,
it would be a disaster actually.
Upset.
Yeah,
that's real. Why New York. If I release that song, it's gonna be NY, NY. Because I don't. It's harder to search, but I'm also like, you're not gonna get mad at me because I'm not covering Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can see that. I can also see it just being called New York. Though it's kind of like a postmodern thing to be like, I have a New York too, but it's different.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, maybe that's part of it too. I love people's expectations.
Yeah,
I love them.
You love people's expectations.
I love playing into them, and then I love saying screw it.
Yeah, you're right. It is cool to know people's expectations and choose whether you want to.
Yeah, it's just like some more information about what you should do.
I totally agree.
Just being informed.
Yeah. Are you going to put the song "I Saw You Before You Saw Me" on the new album?
I don't know.
Which I've performed live a couple times.
Yeah.
Song's pretty sick.
I think I was hoping that you would take it.
Oh?
I mean,
What? What's this?
I think that's my secret feeling. I still might record it.
Cool. Maybe I will.
I think fun. I liked it best whenever you had it, though.
Maybe we could put it out together.
And then we're like, I saw.
Yeah.
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 That would actually be cool.
I think so, too. We should think about it.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
That is cool. Thanks for being my friend.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking me to be on this show. It's the most exciting thing
Cool. Well,
that
I
has
appreciate
happened
that.
on the internet in a long time.
I'm having so much fun doing it. This is, number 4, and I've got 15 more lined up now. So I'm
Dude,
just gonna keep
I'm
doing it.
really proud of you because I feel like so many people are like, I should start a podcast. And
Right.
you didn't even think twice about it. You're like, is this a podcast? I'm not sure. It's TV. I
Yeah.
love that. And I love that about you.
I appreciate you saying that. I definitely chose the idea of jumping in quicker than before I knew how to swim.
Yeah.
And I don't always do that with projects, but the ones that I do, I always feel better about it. Like having Clay help give me a new thumbnail, or like today I have a new mic, and it's like,
Yeah.
if I had waited until I knew that Clay would make good thumbnails and I had a mic, I would have like never done it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
I had to like feel where I was like, man, my mic is not good enough, and then I had to do it. Had to get a better
wish
mic.
I could learn from that. That's cool.
Well, I think the hardest one for me is putting out music, because it's like, I don't want to put out music that I'm not proud of. But like the way that I grew so much as an artist so quickly was that when I was in middle school and even high school, I was really prolific. And that experience taught me so much about my artistry. But in the last like 5 years, really, I've become more of a coward, or I'm just more particular about what I put out. But sometimes I'm like, man, I should be a little bit more loose about what I put out, because if I wasn't, this isn't, you can disagree, or it might just be different for me and you, but like, sometimes I feel like if I was a little bit more casual, I would grow faster, but I don't know. There is also something about like honing your craft, and I feel like that's what you do. So it might be different. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think it's funny that you said coward and then you like thought twice about it because I'm in the room.
No, I thought twice, but no, that's not why.
No. I'm
Maybe it was. I can't remember anymore.
I'm saying that I think that this goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there's just like 2 ways to do it, and now you're exploring this other way. You're like, you're Bob Dylan. You're like, you did that thing. You made records really rapidly for a long time. And then you're like, I'm gonna put out a single that I feel really good about, and maybe not put it on an album.
Yeah.
I love that you just trust your gut. I don't know.
Thank you.
Maybe you're thinking twice now because you got a mic in front of you and you have to be really analytical. Before this, I was like, what of myself should I accentuate? So I look more like an intellectual.
Yeah, right.
I legitimately was like, what am I going to talk about? So I was smart.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's hard. This is really casual. This podcast doesn't lend you to like I feel the same way myself. Like I want to like give off a certain impression about myself, and then I want to just being pretty transparent. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oops, I let my guard down.
No, the psychology of releasing music is so crazy and really bad, and I think that I'm trying to think of other art forms,
right,
that are similar.
But we also live in. It's also like you can study it, and then it's also like at the same time we now live in a new time, so it's like even what used like there's all this stuff that we have to study to understand what it means to make music, and then we also have to like kind of shoot in the dark. It's like, well, it's 2020. I don't really know, And there's somebody out there like doing a certain thing that no one's done before, and you're like, wait, but is that gonna last? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is that actually? I don't know. It's just scary.
Everybody is in like. It's like they're a business that's like. It's like a startup company.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like with the Arcadian Wild. They're like, we're gonna do a live stream every week, and then they're like, we're gonna do a live stream every 2 weeks, and they're like, we're gonna do a Patreon. And I love that they are entrepreneurs and are just kicking butt and doing and
yes.
But there's so many people to be inspired by, and I love that. Like as soon as I self-criticize, and I could be like, I should be doing better. That there's also someone who's just like me, and it's just like doing something new.
Right.
Not necessarily, like I don't know. It just is super inspiring that um, that like someone would run a Kickstarter because of my Kickstarter,
Right. Yeah.
or that because somebody did a Patreon that they were like, oh, awesome, like thank you for bringing me 6 months rent.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, especially with Kickstarter, that's a great example. I mean, I studied the Arcadian Wilds Kickstarter to make my Kickstarter,
Yes.
and the
Yeah.
Nobilities too, and like certain other ones that I was just like, wow, y'all did this, and I can do this too because I'm seeing you do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Because in the all these ideas are just ludicrous
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know
by
what you mean.
themselves.
Totally.
Especially now, anything entrepreneurial is risky, I guess. Or at
Yeah.
least I feel that way, and everybody's shifting the way that they're touring. To me, feels so safe now. As radical as that was to travel across the country and just expect 30 people to be in
Totally.
your house show in a city you've never been to. I don't know. I really miss the
Oh man,
how solid that was.
I do too. It is so solid. It is like such a steady way to build a career. Um,
Yeah.
I believe in it so much, and it's been. I think part of starting this is because this is like a closer thing to touring. I'm like sharing a bill with you tonight, and we're just talking. I don't know.
Oh.
It's hard to explain, but it's like whatever. Nothing will. I can't actually replicate touring, and I found the ways I try to come close by doing like live stream festivals and stuff. Some of them, are really cool, and I'm not dissing on them as a concept. I think they can work, but
Mm-hmm.
I've almost just found that I need to just kind of jump into different stuff, and like something like this actually scratches like that itch a little bit more, which is weird, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a deeper. That's a long conversation though, I guess.
It is a
But
long
like
conversation.
getting into like what it means to like adapt to quarantine. But
Sure.
but it is an adaptation, and it's taken a long time for me to realize like, or already gone through so many different phases within quarantine of
Oh,
like
you have.
what it means to be an artist in quarantine. I feel like
Is that cool to you?
going through phases.
Have you like you ever pat yourself on the back?
Um, I try to. I try to like remember stuff or write things down. Or I don't do a good enough job of that, but yeah. I mean, I've been on Cloud9 lately though, like starting this and like also putting Fight Song out. People
Yeah.
resharing it like that. It's really been good for me. So
The I really like that you're into visual art. That you're doing visual art.
thank
That's
you.
cool.
Yeah.
Is totally well going back to what we were talking about before, but I don't think I've talked to you much about missing touring. I think
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've avoided talking to you about it.
Right. Yeah, I don't talk about it much either. Well, I just keep trying to move forward. Sometimes it's like I even forget how much I miss it. Like I think I said this last night in the show. Like I take a, sometimes I take a deep breath. And I'm like, wow, I really miss touring. Actually, no, like 2 nights ago, I was at a Love's or a Flying J, and it was like 11 p.m.
Oh,
And this
you were like,
all these truckers were like filling up their coffee and like getting in their big trucks and driving off, and I was like, I want to be filling up my coffee cup and like
yeah.
I want to be putting on a record and driving until 3 a.m. trying to get to the next city, which I know isn't what everyone does on tour, but like I was just like, I want the open road and music and coffee and just like I want to feel immense purpose and just trying to get from A to B.
Yes. And bagels in the morning because you're like that's the cheapest thing on the menu.
Yeah, or like a biscuit or something.
Oh yeah, and then also the gas station thing where you're like desperate for food and it's 2 a.m., which means nothing's open. And then even like the Wendy's is closed and you're like, thought you were 24 hour, but whatever. And then you go to the Flying J and they've got these just sweaty hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
The thing that you never thought
Yeah.
you'd like. But
Yep.
you're like, if I put another Lay's chip in my mouth, I will die. So then you go for the hot dog. You may even have to warm it up in the microwave. this happened. I think you might have been there. I think we
Maybe.
were on our way back from Arkansas. I ate a hot dog at like 3 a.m. from.
There's a there are things that you do on tour that you thought you'd never do growing up, and that's one of them. Was like eating a roller dog. But now
Yes!
that I tour with like on our last tour, the one that we
Roller
can't because of
dog.
COVID, there were 7 of us, and it's funny because like when there's 7 of you scraggly touring folks, there's someone for every niche. Like you can walk into a Love's and you're like, one dude's like, I'm going for the roller dog, and someone else is like, people like someone's like, oh, I'm gonna get this pickle in a bag, and you're like, people get those? I'm like,
Yeah.
but then they're like, dude, it's lit, and they give you a bite, and you're like, wow, okay, I could see how I could do that.
It's like
and then
the
Smaw's filling up
opposite.
his icy. Just everyone's got their thing, their itch or whatever. I don't know.
It's so far from like going to Glacier National Park or like Yosemite with your family,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, we're gonna stop here, 10 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone goes to the restroom at the same time. So much more chaotic on tour.
Grado is just this weird imitation of like a youth group trip where like we'll pull up at a stop and he just starts shouting like this like Southern mom. I have to back up and like he'll be like, there's a Wendy's, there's an Arby's, there's a McDonald's, and he'll be like, get back here in 15 minutes. We're gonna meet here at 3:45. And we're just like, stop doing that every time.
Grant's bits.
I know.
Oh, I miss Grant's bits.
I miss Grant being in the back of the tour bus, just like asleep or doing whatever or like making a record, like maybe being really productive, or I just don't even know what he's doing. He just sits in the very back seat and he's just like, I can't even hear him because it's a minivan. He's like yell.
Or whenever he gets hungry and you have to pull off the road like immediately. Oh yeah. I saw this meme.
He's like, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. I saw this meme the other day where it was like, what was it? Me, I could eat. And then translation, I will be a completely other person in 30 minutes. It's spot on.
That's awesome.
I gotta find it.
That's really funny. That's true. When Grant's hungry, he's hungry.
Yeah, you taught me that before I went on tour with him. So I knew.
When he wants his Mickey Chicky, you gotta get him a Mickey Chicky.
Yeah. So many. There's Sammy. Wish I had a list of all the words. Do you remember Ingtons?
Yes. Yes. He would put Inkton on everything. I guess I did that 2-part thing.
Nappington. Which do you have those like those tics or English idioms that you create by yourself?
Yeah, well, just when you're on, it's like part of that. Yeah, it's like the language. You just, especially when you're on tour together, you just start talking like each other. It's like you don't even have to talk anymore. It's just crazy.
But I mean, by yourself, like, could you tell me something you've been saying lately? That's new. Maybe with Gail being there, probably.
Me and Gail, yes, we have a bunch of things that we say. We're like, we always say whatever, dude. We started doing that really exaggerated. We go, whatever, dude. We just say that every day to each other, and it just means something that I can't even explain what it could mean.
Yeah.
Also, we both just have been going more into the calling things by what kids call them, like Frenchy fries and stuff like that. Just trying to get on. I just get on my brother's skin, just like by being ridiculous like that, becoming more of a baby.
There's a TikTok that it was like, it's like it's this series. It's a series, and it's this boy who like essentially scares his dad with the things that he does, and it's like freaking out my African parents. It's like part 1, and it's part 2. It's like the same title, part 11, and it's this man is like doing something in the kitchen, and then the kid will come in and be like, when a man loves a woman, and then the dad has this crazy like concerned. It's epic, honestly.
Send that to
Those are-
me.
Okay, yeah. The TikToks that I love on
We need
TikTok
Joe
are the
Rogan, like,
consistent ones.
Yeah, we need whatever, like, his. I say that this podcast is inspired by Joe Rogan, really, just because I think it's cool that he lets people come on as long as they want. But also, he has like a crony. He has like this guy who like pulls up YouTube videos for him. He's just like, "Hey, pull that up," and that guy always just pulls them up. Like, that's so cool. We need one of those guys for right now who could pull up a TikTok.
Yeah, or you need like. Doesn't everybody have like a sidekick, like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon? They all have like that one guy that nobody really likes him. But I think that's the point. Is that you shouldn't have anyone that's cooler than the host.
Yeah. Those guys. That is it. I would like to have an interesting study on how you decide. Yeah, what kind of right-hand man you have, sidekick. Those people are really interesting.
Yeah, you can't like pick someone that's.
I always liked
attractive.
Conan's guy. I can't remember his name.
Oh, dude, y'all all like Conan.
Yeah,
I know y'all do. Conan has a special place in y'all's heart.
He's hilarious. He's just so likable.
I've just never gotten it. I think his bits are the things that just don't appeal to me.
Weird.
I'm gonna have to find that later. That's crazy.
Well, my line's open.
Wow. Wait, so you'll let me talk until I close up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you haven't stopped anyone yet?
No. We did an hour and a half for Grant, almost 2 hours, like an hour 50 for Ella. Ethan's room was like 105. I feel like it's gonna be more closer to an hour for people. Like someone like Ethan, who I really respect and I don't know super well. But like you, I mean, dude, Big Sma is about to come on in like a week.
Oh my gosh, you'll never stop.
I don't know if we're just gonna talk forever, or if we're just gonna have to like have him come on once a week. I don't know.
No, I'd be so jealous.
That would be cool. Maybe y'all can all just come on all the time. I don't have any type of I'm definitely not concerned with like putting these out like in a structure. I'm just putting out as many as possible and just all the time. So I would be down.
Have you listened to somebody who has returned guests? The guy, he takes pictures. He made a documentary of Wilco.
Sam Jones?
Sam Jones. Have
Cool,
you listened to his? Okay, and then also David Tennant has a podcast.
Oh,
we
cool.
talked about David Tennant. But basically, those two podcasts that have guests, I think that they're heavily edited, which may be why they're like so continually dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But those are two podcasts that I like. Probably.
Do they do that thing where like they have transition music? Like answer a question and like some weird song happens, and then they come back in. They're like, "So you blah blah blah." Oh, ads.
Maybe David Tennant doesn't, but Sam Jones definitely has ads. He's like, "Here's my friends at Sunglasses Hut." Oh no, who is that? There's another podcast where the guy literally whispers the ad. He's like, "It's weird." I think it's weird. Something Zach sent me. Anyway,
maybe, dude. I'd love to get an ad. That'd be sick, right?
You want me to narrate it for you?
Yeah, I'll have you on.
Then people will know where to stop skipping.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, "Stop with the girls." What? Nice. There's Freeze.
Yeah, you have to do like 15 seconds or whatever, so that people can like skip it perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go make some pizza.
Word. Cool. I'm gonna go hang out with my mom and dad.
Okay, cool. Ooh, Leslie might be watching Safe Haven. I rented it last night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go watch? Wait, is that a show or a movie?
It's a movie. It's a Nicholas Sparks movie. You know, The Notebook?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Julianne Hough and Josh Duhamel.
Is that the guy who plays Noah? That's the guy in The Notebook's name.
No. I'm doing the cast of
Death Haven.
Safe.
That's a band.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. All right, well, with that, are we off the air?
No, I don't know how to go off the. I think I can stop recording and then you can stay. Try that. We can say goodbye.
So we can do like a recap. We can be like,
that was crazy.
Yeah.
No edits. All right, I'll press stop recording. Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.
Follow Jac Thompson on the internet.
See you next time.
See you next time on Freeze's Fun Zone.
Fun Zone.